Myths. From the Greeks and Romans to today, humanity has been titillated by tales of what might haunt the skies or lurk in the depths of the ocean. The Denver Museum of Nature and Science points out that mythic creatures like dragons, mermaids, and chupacabras cultivated conjecture as well as inspired art and culture. And in some instances, actual fossils and real-world encounters inspired lore that remains of interest today. Real or make-believe? When it comes to mythic creatures such as dragons, mermaids, and Bigfoot, sometimes fact fuels fiction.
A lot of these mythic creatures, like the dragon behind us, are inspired by people finding fossils of creatures like dinosaurs that we know today did exist, but not understanding what a dinosaur was, and so comparing it to things they knew or potentially using their imagination to explain things that they felt were unexplainable. So dinosaur bones become dragons.
As legends go, dragons from the European tradition are cave and swamp dwellers who protected their lairs by breathing fire. And there's a perfectly logical explanation for why the danger of death by fire would have seemed real as you entered a cave, lit torch in hand.
It turns out that a lot of caves fill with methane, same thing with swamps, and when people would go in with their torches before there were lights, the cave would poof, a puff of fire would come out, and so you would think there was something in the cave that was spewing fire at you, potentially a dragon.
Is there any sense of, because these were myths that were held maybe in the 17th century, how real these were to people then?
They were definitely very real. People in the medieval times buy dragon's blood and dragon's bones, which are really fossils or a resin from a tree, but to buy them for medicinal purposes. And so these things were believed to be real and to have real properties that could help you or save you.
But some myths actually did help keep people safe, indirectly anyway.
Some of these myths provide a lesson in being careful about nature, or being careful about certain things. So for example, the parents would warn their children, don't go near the water because such and such organism is living in the water. Well, of course that's keeping their kids alive, right? Because it's keeping them from drowning if they don't know how to swim. So there's a real function that that mythical creature is serving.
You are conducting research on a camel spider, which is an actual spider, but there are myths attached to it that this is roaming around the desert and it's slaughtering camels. Do we have any sense of how this relatively small thing has gained such a giant story?
The interesting thing about camel spiders is they're found in deserts worldwide. In the Middle East, they believe that these camel spiders can go up to 2 feet long. They only get up to about 3 or 4 inches, which is still pretty big for an arachnid, but they believe that they can jump up and with their giant jaws, they can take down a camel or a horse and they burrow into the guts of the mammal. And of course, they can't do any of that.
It's a horror movie waiting to happen.
Cushing's work has helped to debunk theories of camel-killing spiders, but the museum has helped visitors to create some other unbelievable animals. What did you make?
An octosnake. It lives in the water, and it's poisonous.
I made the Death Walker. It lives in the jungle, and it's a carnivore and a cannibal.
A mernicorn.
A mernicorn. That's very clever. And what does your mernicorn eat?
He eats rainbows.
Mernicorns, deathwalkers, octosnakes, who knows? Those creatures might become myths of the 21st century.